Okay, so when I say the word evolution, what pops into your head? Probably, dinosaurs, maybe Darwin wandering around the Galapagos Islands. But what if I told you that the most intense, the fastest evolution happening on Earth right now isn't in some remote jungle? Nope, it's happening literally right outside your window, in our cities. Here's a little riddle for you. What could possibly connect a brown rat scurrying through a New York subway with a patch of white clover in a park up in Toronto? I mean, they're in different cities, they're not even in the same biological kingdom, yet they share this really profound and very modern secret. And the answer is, they're evolving. And we're not talking on some geological timescale here. We're talking right now, in real time, practically in front of our eyes. They're adapting at this incredible speed, changing their very biology just to survive. And the thing that's driving all this change, it isn't some asteroid or a new ice age. It's us. It's the concrete, the pollution, the heat, the pizza crusts we leave behind. Our cities have become the actual engine of this new supercharged evolution. This whole thing has led scientists to this absolutely fascinating conclusion. Our urban centers have basically become these modern-day laboratories for evolution. You could really think of them as the new Galapagos Islands, where we can watch life adapt in real time. See, a city isn't just a different kind of habitat. It is a completely new ecosystem. It has its own set of rules, its own pressures, and its own opportunities that you just don't find anywhere else in nature. It's this world of asphalt, steel, artificial light, and, strange new food sources. And the scale of this whole experiment, it's just staggering. Over 56% of all humans now live in urban areas. That makes cities the fastest growing ecosystem on the entire planet. So this isn't some small niche thing. This is a global force that is actively reshaping life. So what is it about cities that forces life to change so dramatically? Well, it's a combination of a bunch of pressures. You've got the urban heat island effect, which makes cities significantly warmer. You have habitats getting chopped up by roads and buildings. There's all sorts of unique pollution, a diet of human leftovers, and a totally different lineup of predators. For any species trying to survive here, the message from the city is pretty simple: adapt or leave. And this leads to some absolutely incredible real-world examples. This isn't just a theory. We are seeing clear as day evidence of what you might call survival of the cityest. Okay, our first case study is the humble white clover. Out in the countryside, it makes hydrogen cyanide, which is a great defense against hungry rabbits and deer. But in the city, the clover has pretty much given up this defense. So why? It's this really cool evolutionary trade-off. See, the very same chemical that produces the cyanide also makes the plant vulnerable to freezing. Out in the country, a thick blanket of snow insulates the clover. But in the city, where there's way less snow cover, the risk of freezing is much higher. And since there are fewer herbivores munching on them, the clover has evolved to favor frost resistance over that chemical defense. It's just a brilliant localized adaptation. Next up, we've got acorn ants. These are tiny little ants that can live inside a single acorn. And for them, the adaptation is directly tied to that urban heat island effect we just mentioned. Researchers have found that city ants can handle much, much higher temperatures than their country cousins. The reason is just simple, powerful, textbook natural selection. Downtown Cleveland, for example, is about 4 degrees Celsius warmer than the areas around it. So, over generations, only the ant colonies that could take that relentless heat survived and had babies. But, again, there's a trade-off. In adapting to all that heat, these urban ants have actually lost some of their ability to handle the cold. And this isn't just happening on land. Let's take a look at the water flea, Daphnia. In the warmer and often more polluted urban ponds, these tiny little crustaceans are evolving to live fast and die young. They've gotten smaller, and they reproduce way more quickly than the ones out in rural ponds. This one really shows you how complex the pressures can be. The warmer water pushes them toward that faster life cycle, sure, but they've also developed a resistance to pesticides from all the city runoff. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about their survival. These evolved superfleas are actually better at controlling the toxic algal blooms that plague urban waterways, which is a direct benefit to the entire ecosystem. So we've seen the what, but now let's dig into the how. What is the scientific mechanism that's driving all these changes? Well, scientists have a name for it: the urban selection engine. At the heart of it is this concept called eco-evolutionary feedback. It's basically this powerful loop. An organism evolves a new trait to survive in the city. That new trait, like the water flea's ability to eat toxic algae, then changes the urban ecosystem itself. And that newly changed ecosystem creates new pressures, which drives even more evolution. It's a cycle that just keeps accelerating change. And when you lay it out like this, you can see that direct line from a specific urban pressure to the evolutionary response. The heat island gives us heat-tolerant ants. A different winter climate gives us less defended clover. Polluted water gives us resistant fleas. There's even some evidence that a diet of our leftovers might be selecting for New York City rats with shorter tooth rows. It's a clear pattern, and it's repeating across species and across cities worldwide. Okay, so we've established that life is evolving in our cities. That's a fact. The big question now is, so what? What do we do about it? How does this knowledge change the way we think about and design the cities of the future? This right here reveals a pretty critical takeaway. A paper in the Royal Society's journal points out that we have a huge blind spot in urban planning. Our strategies for things like green roofs and parks are basically static. They're designed to preserve nature as it is, totally ignoring the fact that nature is actively and rapidly evolving to live with us. And look, this isn't just some academic thought experiment. This really matters, because urban evolution affects things we absolutely depend on. I'm talking about pollination in community gardens, the purification of water in our reservoirs, the overall biodiversity that makes our cities healthier and more resilient places for us to live. All these jobs are being done by organisms that are changing before our very eyes. So, what does a smarter, evolution-aware approach look like? Well, first, we just have to acknowledge that this is happening. Planners need to see cities not just as concrete grids, but as dynamic evolutionary landscapes. Second, we have to preserve genetic diversity. That means protecting all kinds of habitats, from pristine parks to weedy vacant lots, because that diversity is the raw material for future adaptation. And finally, we need to design our green spaces, not just to look pretty, but to function as corridors that allow species to move, to interact, and to evolve. Which leaves us with this one crucial question. We are already the architects of urban evolution, mostly by accident. The challenge now is to become intentional about it. Instead of seeing cities and nature as these two separate things, we have to ask, how can we shape our cities to design a more resilient future for all the life within them, including ourselves?